Recording systems enabled. New audio recording. Select the microphone. Record. His Excellency's main audience chamber.
Oh.
There we go. This looks ridiculous. It's happening. Send.
Oh, good baby Jesus.
Are you ready? Just excites.
His Excellency's main audience podcast.
His Excellency's main quarantine chambers.
This is a lot harder than it looks.
My fingers are disappearing.
Yeah, they should. They're going up into them. Brush. Okay. Good day, Galaxy Rogue Squadron podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Quarantine day 13. I have lost my brains.
We're out of toilet paper, and I'm now wiping my ass on the walls and the cats.
Using cardboard from the beer containers as toilet paper. Just splitting it in half. I'm unplying it all.
Good day, guys. I am Mopar.
I'm Commander Cody. It's hard to take you seriously because you're if anyone's listening to this, I recommend you go watch the live stream because you're like embedded into Palpatine's face.
At least he's having a good time.
He is very happy. He's very pleased to be on quarantine.
I don't know what it is, but we can
Imperial conspiracy.
We can put our own backgrounds into the new Zoom update, and mine is just not having it. It's 1994.
Your system is very confused.
CGI over here, yeah. So I don't know.
So for next week, you'll have to put up the blue screen, and then you can get as crazy with it as you want. I don't know why mine's like working. It's weird. That's absurd. It's like phasing in and out. Mopar's translucent.
I really have no idea what's going on.
All right, well, here we go.
Here we go. Episode 2. Okay.
227. It's happening.
Is it?
It is 227, yeah. 226 just came out this week.
We are scheduled for another 4 weeks of quarantine squadron over here.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for me.
No,
I don't know.
Are you going mad? Are you
a little bit?
Just like Anakin.
I was talking to people on our team today, and it was like, I mean, we all work from home anyways, so like technically nothing's different. But I think the mere fact that you're not supposed to leave, it just mentally makes everything different. And now I feel like I'm trapped between four walls.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's weird. It's starting to get to me.
Yeah, I mean, I go crazy, man, when I'm cooped up. I mean, with all the travel that I am supposed to do on a daily basis, I'm just constantly moving, really.
Right.
Whether locally or whatever, but I don't get to do any of that. So
you're out of your element.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, whatever. Fuck it. Watch a lot of Star Wars, get to drive the Dodge around a little bit if it's nice out. That's about it. So
I ordered a new trash can. That was exciting.
Oh, gonk trash.
That is adult status. Yep. I got a new gonk droid for the house.
It has been Christmas celebration over here every day. Something from Amazon showing up because I get so bored. I'm ordering like $5 items, and
Right.
they're showing up randomly all over the fucking place.
Let me just get some stickers today. Let me get a
That's
coloring book.
Yep, exactly it. Exactly it.
Well, I
Uh,
ordered. I know I texted the group. I went looking for Legos on Saturday or Sunday, and I couldn't find anything. So I ordered this one, the Y wing that I wanted. Oh wow, that's not working at all, is it?
it's- but I know which Y wing you're talking about.
There you go. It's the new Y wing. It's the Zori Bliss Y wing. Let me turn this off for just a second. Yes, this.
Oh, there's a special Zori Bliss one. I didn't realize she was in a Y wing. To be honest,
Who's that flyer? That's her.
who's the one flyer?
Who's the one that's doing all that stuff?
Wait,
So
does that come with Babu?
it comes with no. Oh no, it doesn't. I don't even know how they would make a Baba Freak Lego. It's like so small. It comes with Poe, Zori, a Trooper, a Astromech, and Dio. And it looks badass. So I've never had a Y-wing Lego, so I'm very excited for this. So that's what I'll be doing as soon as the weather comes back. Hopefully tomorrow it should be back to nice.
Yeah, I mean it's been a little chilly, but yeah.
Welcome Cameron. Welcome Brennan. Glad
Yeah.
to have you here, everyone. Break the quarantine with some virtual backgrounds here with the Rogue Squadron.
With some madness. So we've been doing a lot of gaming.
Quite
The Game Pass has saved my life.
good.
It's fun to just kind of try some new games, and if I don't like it, I can just fucking toss it aside and try something else. So, I downloaded Star Wars or Lego Star Wars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean that's fun just to run around and be Legos. Doom I downloaded and started playing.
Nice.
And what was the third one that I mentioned? Oh, I did download. What's the new Call of Duty? Warzone.
Warzone. Yeah, it's very stressful. It's fucking stressful.
Yeah, so I played kind of the introduction of it while it was downloading. It's like ready to start, and you can only play like a quarter of the game.
Right. Training.
So I was doing the training thing for about an hour. Surprisingly smooth. I mean, I was okay with it.
Yeah. Their engine has always been really good.
Yeah, which is kind of refreshing sometimes because if I had one complaint about some of the battlefields is you'll lose some frame rates every once in a while because there's so much shit going on.
Yeah.
That it is nice just to have kind of a simple, smooth game. And
yeah.
it looks good. I mean, nowadays everything looks good. So
it does. Yeah. Well, I fired up Mass Effect Andromeda because I know we were talking about playing the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and I wanted to just try the Andromeda one again just because it's newer. It's a little more modern. But even that, me loving Mass Effect, I feel like my character is like sluggish. I feel like I'm crawling around the map. I can barely move, like looking and trying to hide behind things and sprinting. It's all just feels like clunky, which is unfortunate. So the Call of Duty engine is like, it's smooth, it's quick, and it's like it responds to your movements like instantly.
mm-hmm.
So it's a plus. I just find the Battle Royale modes are very stressful.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Like, it's well, I think it's supposed to be, and that's fine. But like sometimes I just want to jump in and play a quick match or two, and this is like a huge time investment for you to probably just die in 20th place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Battle Royale. It's cool to watch, to be honest. If you're like watching someone stream and they're good, it's cool to see like what they can do. The only ones that I was ever remotely successful was the Battlefield Firestorm for Battlefield 5. I came in first, second, several times, but like you said, it's almost like not fun because it's so stressful. You're like always worried about just simply hearing footsteps. You're like, I'm going to fucking die. And there's footsteps everywhere. So
yeah.
And
yeah. Sometimes your own team.
Yep. Well, and I play solo when I was doing Battlefield Firestorm. But yeah, no, I feel it. Stressful games. Sometimes you just want to, and that's the one good thing. Well, about Minecraft.
Yeah.
until it started glitching out on me. But
Which I now know what you're talking about. So I have it on Switch, and it plays very well. It's very smooth. But I got the Game Pass for Xbox as well, so I downloaded Minecraft on there and jumped into our server just to see what it felt like on Xbox. And on Xbox, I was getting all of that lag that you were talking about.
mm,
That's where it started to piss me off. So I went back to Switch.
oh yeah, it's
So
and
now I
I
know what you mean.
legitimately I don't blame games or internet or controllers or anything. If I'm playing shitty, I'm playing shitty. But that was like 100%. It would glitch out for 3 seconds and then I would end up dead. And it's like, I can't do anything. Oh my God. I was fucking freaking. So,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
weird.
set that aside for a second and was, like I said, I started Doom, which, again, very, very smooth, very quick, very kind of reactionary game.
Hmm.
And quite simple, which is nice. It's a breath of fresh air that you can kind of go around. And honestly, when there's like a big boss and you hear some like fucking crazy doom metal going on, and you're like, I'm gonna rip this fucker's dick off. Dude, it's intense and there's blood everywhere and gore, and they're trying to murder you alive.
I have never played Doom in my life.
Me neither.
So yeah, the fact that it was on Game Pass, I was curious to try it out. So, is there a multiplayer on there too?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it co-op or is it competitive?
I have no idea. I've just played the campaign, and the Doom
I
game
have
we're
to jump
talking
in.
about is the 2016 version of it. So it was still it's still the Xbox One version, but it's not the
The newest
what's
one is Doom Eternal.
yeah the Doom Eternal. So this
Just
is
came
gonna be
out like
Doom.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. So which audience rating on Google 4.8. I mean, it's a
Oh,
fucking it's straightforward, just fun. It's straightforward
good,
fun. So
good, good. Yeah, Cameron is chiming in the chat. Cannot stand the stress of battle royale games. Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
can't.
hard.
I can stand. I can't stand it.
I can stand some things, but that is one thing I
I was gonna
cannot
say I
do.
can stand watching it, but even watching, because I know our buddy Zach, he streams every once in a while a bunch of different games, and watching him, I'm like, Jesus, there's people coming to murder
I
you.
know. And then you
Ugh.
always see things that the streamer doesn't see, and you're just like, watch out for the fucking watch. He's over there. Fucking watch
How did
out.
you not see
And they just
it
have no.
turn? Screaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but that I mean that's gonna happen, and that's what those games are for. But it's
Sometimes.
rewarding if you ever come in like even top five. You're like, I fucking made it.
And that one is it's a group of 150 and their teams of 3.
Warzone.
So there's 50, yeah, Warzone. So there's 50 teams
Holy
of 3.
shit.
Yeah, so it's 50% more than PUBG and those other ones. So very stressful. I played a couple rounds with Butterclone, and I just wasn't in the right headspace to like really do a battle royale full out. So I was kind of just getting the motions, figuring out like what those bounties and what the loot boxes and stuff are actually all about. But I'll have to give it another shot. It'd be nice
Is
to play
there
with the
not
full
just a
group of
regular
people.
like deathmatch version?
So I
Like, can you play
think
multiplayer?
so when I log into the game, it looks like remember when they updated Battlefield and you could get to like Battlefield 4 and 5 and 1 all from like the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
So it looks like that. And Warzone is one thing, and the new Modern Warfare is on there, and that's another thing that you have to actually buy. But Warzone's free. So
Okay, so
Warzone is
battle
just
royale.
battle royale. Yeah,
I gotcha.
right.
Yeah, I'm definitely not dropping huge money for another Call of Duty, which comes out every fucking year. So
I'm just gonna keep crushing on Overwatch, and I actually just wanted to look up when mother flipping Overwatch 2 is coming out.
oh, have they announced something like that?
They announced Overwatch 2, but they didn't. I don't think there is a exact release date yet. I'm not
Mm.
sure. This is from a few days ago, so let's see. Yeah, they announced it last year at BlizzCon, and there is no release date, so that's a
The
bummer.
news is there's no news.
The news is there hasn't been any news. Well, I don't follow news in general, really, so I wanted to look it up. I haven't seen it in a while, so But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing Overwatch and wait
Yeah,
impatiently for the sequel.
that's definitely one of the more solid games that's come out over the past 5-ish years. Overwatch is just straightforward. All the different characters is fun. So, um, I want to say that one of the reasons that Doom is so smooth, it's not open world, and it's like mission by mission basis. So you'll load in a mission, and the loading screen's actually quite long, which I'm like, whatever. But I think it loads the entire map all in one go. So it's not like constantly loading the area around you. So I think that's why it's probably more of a smooth game because it loads everything all at once up front, and then you
Mm-hmm.
go and play that map. Which if you've ever played any open world games, you know that like as you're running, it's like loading where you're going,
Yeah.
so it can be a little splotchy. But yeah, Doom's fun, man. I haven't come across anything major. I've been just pulling the trigger and blowing people up. So
Okay.
and like
Yeah, I'll have to
the more
jump in.
people you kill, the so it looked like you would shoot someone and then you would have an option of almost like a melee attack. And if you
Mm-hmm.
did capitalize on the melee attack, they would drop like a health little thing. So I would just go through and shoot people until they're almost dead and then melee everybody.
I
But
can't
it kind
remember
of,
what the term is, but I remember when the developer was on Rogan talking about the new game. I think feel like he emphasized that a lot. He was like, you get him down to a certain health, and then when you do like a major kill with a melee, you get bonus points or XP or some shit like that.
yeah. So like if the enemy's low on health, they'll have like a glow around them and you'll know to trigger your melee. But honestly, I've been going up because I know some of the weaker guys, it's 2 melee hits and they're dead. So I've just been double clicking. The joystick is your melee. So it's so quick.
Yeah.
So I'll just run up, bash, bash, get their health, bash, bash. But the guns are
Okay.
kind of ridiculous, you know. So you pick them up as you go throughout the game, and you get more and more. I got a chainsaw, so you can just fuck people in half.
It's supposed to be somewhat like Duke Nukem, like goofy,
Yep.
right? Like you're just murdering demons the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Uh,
Cool.
but yeah, the setting's cool. It's like sci-fi hell.
I
Honestly,
was
that's
gonna say,
about
aren't you in hell?
yeah.
Oh, I'm in hell.
Yes. Um, but yeah, I mean that's essentially it. Sci-fi hell. There's like a lot of cool technology, but there's lava everywhere, and there's demons trying to kill you. So what the fuck? I don't know anything about the actual storyline, admittedly.
That explanation could fit for Minecraft too. Sometimes.
Oh, so speaking of Minecraft, and I think it was my introduction to it, and it sounded like yours as well. But the
Hmm.
whole creepy pasta stuff that
Oh yeah,
that the guys were talking about,
yeah.
I had never, let alone heard of it. I've never seen it, let alone heard of it, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, right.
So, like, when he was saying that stuff, I was like, what? Are you, like, mistyping?
I
I
was
have no
so
fucking clue.
confused. I was so
And
confused.
did you end up watching any, like, the Watch Mojo stuff?
I watched. I didn't watch the top 10, but I watched the one that he linked. Pat, thanks again for the link and everything. The Ben Drowned one about Majora's Mask. I watched that one.
How fucking creepy was that?
It was, yeah, and I was a little. It was late. It was like 12:30, and I smoked a little bit, and I was like, "Oh God, I don't know if I'm ready to be watching this right now."
I know.
And
I
then I
went to,
figured out like it was like a ploy, like halfway through, and I was like, "Oh, thank God."
yeah, yeah. So I looked it up here. Creepypastas are essentially internet horror stories that are passed around on forums and other sites to disturb and frighten the readers. So it's kind of like almost like an interactive horror story that people can
Yeah,
kind of add to and walk through. But the what'd you say it was? Daniel Drown?
Ben Drowned.
Ben Drown. Thank you. I feel so dumb because that's probably one of the main ones. But that one was so in depth, and there
Yeah,
was like internet sites created to back up the story, and there was forums and people supporting it, and it was so in depth. But there are other like very shallow story ones that are pretty straightforward, like the Sonic .exe.
I didn't watch that one.
It's like a version of Sonic that all the black like turns red, and it's like you're in hell, and as it's basically Doom. but with Sonic. But I guess instead of you running around as Sonic, you run around as one of his friends, like Tails, and Sonic is slowly creeping up on you, trying to murder you. And if he catches you, I mean, you die. And it's fucking creepy, dude. I mean, for how simple that stuff sounds, like if I was playing and that started happening and the screen like flipped color, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? And then Sonic comes out of the corner and tries to murder me.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching the Majora's Mask one. I was like, how creepy can it be just to like have some weird effects in a game? And like there was parts where like Link was like cricked over sideways like this.
Yeah.
And there was this creepy doll following him around, and I was like, okay, shit, that's kind of messed up. I have to admit, I still don't know what the fuck they are. Like that was a confusing part. I kept trying to like I even asked my brother, who like should be tuned in to all that internet shit, and he's like, it's too hard to explain.
What a creepypasta is?
Yeah, and he's like, it's too hard to explain.
It's just like an internet story. It's an internet story based on.
I know. I'm just always curious as to like how they got started. I think I want to know the origin.
Yeah, people got bored. Nerds.
It's like Sleepy Hollow on the internet.
Yeah, yeah, and I think from my very little research that I've done, like 90% of them are based on video games. I know there was a story which I haven't read, but there was one based around Missing No from Pokemon.
I think that's the thing that confused me, because Pat was trying to explain it, and he said this. Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up, man? He was trying to explain it, and he brought up Missing No, and I was like, I don't get it. Missing No was an actual thing. I had it on my Game Boy.
Yeah, you captured them, and then you get unlimited shits. Like, what do you want?
So, like, what's the like urban legend? I don't understand. I think that's what threw me off.
Do you remember the details of Missing No? Like, you would go on, it was like Cinnabar Island.
You had to have something particular in your inventory.
No, I thought it was like the 6th.
I think it was
item.
like you had to have, yeah. So like whatever was number 6 or number 9 in your inventory is the one that would get duplicated, and you had to swim right next to Cinnabar Island and just go like up and down the coast until you ran into one.
Find him. But first, you had to go talk to that guy north of Pallet Town, the guy who taught you how to catch a Pokemon.
Oh, that's right, and then fly directly to the island.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha,
yeah, and then I think you're right. It was the 6th item in your inventory would just like all of a sudden become 99. So everybody would do rare candies and level up their fuckers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to get into that creepypasta about that one. So yeah, everybody was yelling at us like everybody was in on the joke except you and me. Everybody's like, oh yeah, creepypastas. How the fuck do they not know?
I know. What the hell are you trying to say? I was like, I just don't get it. And Tommy Boy just sent me like a facepalm emoji. And I was like, sorry, man, I'm getting too old for this. I don't understand. I didn't get into them back in like college. So like I missed the
they
whole
weren't
train.
there. They weren't there. Ben Drowned is 2010.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, so they're somewhat recent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody else hungry now? Cameron? Yes, I am.
But yeah, so if you guys don't know anything about it or you're interested, I would suggest just going to Watch Mojo on YouTube, and they do a top 10 of creepypastas specifically. And if that kind of sparks your interest, I would watch the Ben Drowned one, which there's like a 40-minute video. It's like a full documentary about what happened with that story. So,
and I already kind of, if you don't know what it is, I kind of already ruined it. But just
no, you didn't at all.
And watch it.
No, it's fucking creepy. I could sit here and watch it again. I'd still be fucking creepied.
Yeah.
Awesome.
With meatballs?
With
kind of pasta.
Meatballs.
What's the creepiest kind of pasta?
Butter and Parmesan. No sauce, no red sauce.
That is a little creepy because you wonder how it tastes so good when there's no sauce.
Yeah, it's fucking delicious. Let me tell you.
And clams.
What? Luigi and clams.
Luigi and Sam's.
Sam's. So I caught up on Clone Wars like we were supposed to, and I'm sure you did your homework.
I was thinking that to myself yesterday. I was like, we're supposed to catch up on Clone Wars. Let me think. What do I have on my schedule today? And then I thought, Mobar's not going to do it.
Yep.
Fuck it. I'll just wait another week.
I caught up.
Okay.
I caught up
I'm actually
today.
curious to hear what you have to say about it, and then I'll get caught up before next week.
Well, do you want me to spoil? I mean, we're up to, I think it's the sixth episode was released. So I'm up
Yeah.
to the sixth one.
I can pull
Um,
up the episode list just for like reference. I watched the first three, but I haven't caught up since then.
so you know that Echo was saved
hmm He was
and he
like
was
stuck in that chamber. He was like basically
plugged
like in the
in.
Matrix.
Yeah, yeah. But that's where you stopped.
Yep.
So I guess I'll send out a spoiler because I'm sure I'm going to say something that'll spoil it. But
I don't mind. Go ahead.
um, so if you're not caught up to the sixth episode of season 7, so they save Echo. They start using him to change the tide of the war. Because they Echo was calling every action and reaction that the military was doing. So the separatists were just dominating. Anakin got involved. Him and the Bad Batch saved Echo. They brought him back. Um, Anakin is so there's two people that are saving this whole fucking thing. Anakin, as soon as he showed up on screen, I'm like, sold. I'll watch it. Like even if it's trash, all those small little things that Anakin does that lead, I know it's going to lead up to Darth Vader,
Yeah.
is awesome. And then of course, the second, or I'm sorry, episode 5 and 6 are wrapped around Ahsoka. So, and of course, Ahsoka is actually still in the underground on Coruscant.
Coruscant. Yep.
So she's like hidden, but trying to like not to use force powers because she doesn't want to be identified as a Jedi because she's over that life. So
Yeah.
um I did take a couple notes, but overall it is getting a lot better. It's something it's I don't know what it is. I like the clones, but when it's just every episode is the clones just running in, blasting and running back out, it gets old for me.
Yeah.
So when Anakin shows up, like I'm like, okay, some heavy shit. Like he can build towards becoming Darth Vader, which he does. There's some devilish shit. This is just Hell episode 2.0. Um, so Ahsoka, sorry, I was reading. Ahsoka is saving this. She crash lands. She's on like a fucking bike. She crash lands. Long and short of it, she's mingling with a couple sisters in the lower realm of Coruscant. And it's interesting to see her just be a regular person and understand what regular people go through. It's kind of her just like eye-opening experience that all these people, none of these people have anything.
Right.
She crash lands on a bike, and the girl asks, well, I'll help you fix it for some credits. And she's like, well, I don't have credits. And she's like, I know, no one does down here. Just come on, I'll help you. And it was like eye-opening that it doesn't take credits. If like people actually are helping each other around. One of the quotes that I saw, because it seemed like it was the two sisters it was every man for himself down there. Like you have to watch your own back because the Republic won't.
Right.
They're not there for us. They're
right.
there for everybody else. And one of the quotes was, "We can't count on anyone, so we count on ourselves." And that hit me hard for the kind of the lesson of those two episodes, that even though there's a Jedi standing right there, she can't really do anything for fear of, I mean, she could have those two sisters killed just being around them,
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of a touchy subject.
It's like Hogwarts kids using magic outside of school.
Yeah, exactly. It does have that feeling that she uses the force to save her friend, but no one sees it except for a little kid, and the kid gets excited but kind of runs away. But yeah, anything around Ahsoka, man, I'm sold.
Good.
I'm back in on it. It is also very nice that I can just power through an episode that's only 20 minutes long, and I don't have to sit there for a fucking hour every episode for something. It is nice to just flip through them real quick.
For sure. Yeah.
So the two sisters in Ahsoka kind of team up, and they're going to make a spice run. The youngest sister's a mechanic.
How much spice do people need?
Well, I guess
everyone's a spice runner.
Ahsoka was talking about like a spice can be used for many, many different uses. What are we running this spice for?
Chicken, beef, pasta,
creepy pasta, spice it up.
Sane pasta.
And it was supposed to be used for medicine. I don't know.
Medicine pasta.
So there's a lot of morality stuff that they're just trying to make their way through life and make some money. They don't care where the spice is going, and it was
Right.
obviously going to a bad cause. So Ahsoka kind of tries to stop it. Oh man, it's just they're kind of throwaway episodes, but there's some heavy stuff included in there. Anakin goes and is like disarming a bomb, and that Spider General guy that's kind of controlling everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin finds him and like threatens him and says, "Give me the codes to disarm the bomb." And he says, "No, I can't do that. Dooku would kill me." And he said, "What do you think I'm going to do?" He's like, "You're a Jedi. You can't do anything." And then Anakin fucking rages and dismembers like half of his body, his arms. And he says, "What do you think now, bitch?"
Anakin's the best.
Oh yeah. And I mean, he ends up disarming the bomb.
I get my suit, bitch.
Bitch, you don't know where this blade's been. But he goes straight and murders the fucker, like on the way out. I forget how it happens, but he stabs him like directly and walks the fuck out.
I love it. He's just getting so close to the fucks not being given.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So I think that was the 4th episode of him still helping out the clones. And then the 5th and 6th episode are wrapped around all Ahsoka. But so the youngest sister, they're going on the spice run. She just built this ship. She's learning to fly, unfortunately. Ahsoka's standing there like the heavy. Do you not know how to fly? Whatever. They go into military airspace, fly right next to Anakin's ship.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. The commander on the ship's yelling at him, this is military airspace. Get the fuck out. What are you guys doing? I'm about to send a squadron out, and arrest you guys. And Anakin, literally, it's like it's poetry, dude. It fucking rhymes. Anakin is walking up the bridge as the commander or the admiral's talking to the pilot girl. And he's like, I was about to send a squadron to arrest him. What should I do? And Anakin looks up and just senses. Leave them be. And I'm like, this is fucking episode 6 all over again. It's an older code, but I was gonna, they pass. And he just looks up.
Blue. The code is blue.
Clear.
What if he said aqua by mistake? Are you still gonna let him pass? That's technically a color of blue, shade of blue.
What if that was just any color in general? Okay.
Anything in the blue spectrum will work here. Okay.
The blue spectrum.
Aquamarine. Come on, baby. You got this.
Oh, man.
No, I do. That is one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was my description of it so bad, but when I was watching, I was like, oh my God. It's the exact same scene. Yeah. It's so cool.
Good.
And I was complaining a little, probably one episode ago, about how everything has to connect. But in many ways, like, that's what Star Wars is. But I guess I hate when it's forced. This felt natural. Like, they said, let's fly it so they can sense each other. While we're doing that, we're going to put this exact scene and kind of mirror what happens in episode 6. Instead of, we want to mirror episode 6. Let's force a scene to do that. I don't know. Whatever.
Sure. I know what you mean.
So it felt very natural.
That's good. I think I discovered our issue with like Clone Wars and Rebels. I think I discovered what it is.
Okay.
I was watching Always Sunny. This is a total random
I'm on board.
Tangent. Sitcoms have an episode. Something like starts and there's a problem that they have to solve, and through the episode they solve the problem, and then they learn some new lesson, and at the end they resolve it. Right?
Yeah.
I think the reason that I love Game of Thrones so much is that they did away with that whole formula for a specific episode, and it's a very long-term arc that happens over a whole season or a whole series. And I think what I would prefer in a Star Wars show like this is for there to be a larger arc. Like, how soon before episode 3 is this season? We're like weeks before the Order 66, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would prefer to see one longer play that kind of leads us to Anakin murdering everybody at the end of the season, instead of like, let's go here and learn this lesson, and let's make sure the clones learn this lesson about themselves. I feel like that's just, I don't know. That's not my preferred method of storytelling.
Well, it's like they're forcing short issues down your throat.
Yeah.
Like this one's how to walk to the
There's
bathroom.
got to be values at every episode.
Yeah, it's like at night without stubbing your toe. Like, yeah, use a flashlight, turn the lights on. Try.
Don't stub your toe.
Don't go to the bathroom, piss yourself. I mean, there's a lot of fixes.
Wear a diaper. Get plastic sheets.
Plastic sheets. Oh, Jesus.
Easier to clean.
No, and I agree. And the Game of Thrones example is really good, actually. So you have like an overarching winter's coming. We're throughout the seasons, we get hints of what that actually means. But and then you have it, but they're not like individual episode lessons. Exactly. Like you'll jump on like the Hound's timeline or story, and it could be like 4 episodes with the Hound of him struggling to get here to there, or to kill this person, or to do whatever, save someone. But everything's kind of intertwined. One lesson will stop. Like Jaime Lannister will get his hand cut off, but at the same time, the Hound thing is still going on in the background. So it's nice to be kind of in and out of a bunch of stuff instead of start here, end here, done with that episode, go to the next one. Let's force other shit down your throat.
And I feel like Star Wars would be able to do that. And when I say model Game of Thrones, they don't have to be R-rated or have any of that stuff in there. I just mean like the type of storytelling. But Star Wars it's deep enough, and it has enough characters and storylines and planets and all of that to be able to do a longer term story.
Absolutely.
Like, there's no reason they can't. So,
well, that's what I'm wondering if they're kind of doing with they kind of planted the seeds with Mando. I mean, those episodes were quite solo episodes. I mean, they kind of stood alone. But at the same time, everything's about Baby Yoda. It starts from the first episode all the way to the last episode. It's all about this child. So I think those seeds are planted. Now, the execution of those offshoot episodes were, at some times, it was kind of cringy. Like, it was like, let's go to this farm planet, save these people. Oh, by the way, we're not staying here because it doesn't fucking make any sense. I'm running from bounty hunters. Why am I saving village people?
Yeah, I felt the Mando was like half in and half out of that style. Like they had to take a diversion for 3 episodes to show like, oh, the Mando's a savage, but he's also a nice guy and he's going to do the right thing. Like, yeah, I already know that. Like, let's move past that. I already understand. Yeah. You don't need to like drill it home like 4 episodes in a row.
Now, I think my second watch through allowed me to absorb a lot of that, or at least get through a lot of that a lot better. Rather than feeling, because it's such a long week and you're getting all built up and all worked up about this episode, and then you find out like the only cool things in AT-AT coming through the woods. And I'm like, fuck, like I wanted more, but now that you can just sit there and walk through them pretty quickly, it's nice. It's nice, and you do start noticing more and more stuff that they built into those, and. The character development and the acting behind everybody in the Mando. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay.
No, I'm not. But because you guys are probably going to agree, Star Wars is in no way known for good acting. I mean, outside of like select few, we know Adam Driver.
Yeah. Speaking of Adam Driver, just really quick tangent. My wife started watching Girls again, and I just saw Adam Driver in the show, and I was like, oh my God, that's Kylo Ren. He looks like a baby.
Baby.
God, it looks like a baby.
Just a child. But yeah, overall, Star Wars, outside of, let's name them. There's like one character per trilogy. We got Han Solo.
Right.
Killed it. And then maybe Obi-Wan in the prequels was great. Yep. And then we have Kylo. Driver. Yeah. And I'm not shitting on everybody else, but a lot of it's the script, the stuff that
that's not the cornerstone of Star Wars.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So don't get me wrong that I'm just shitting on everybody else, but I do feel like they have been heavily upgrading stuff. especially with the standalone films. Solo was great. There's a lot of cool, like Beckett is a fucking believable character. Kira is a very believable character. And I feel the same way about Rogue One characters, even though a lot of people think they're a little shallow. I'm on board with Cassian Andor. I feel like no one else gets it. Like I've been
Yeah.
doing this shit since I've been 6 years old, bitch. Like you can feel like his story. He doesn't even have to explain the story. You know what he's been through by how aggressive he is and how mad he is. So
Yeah.
all the way down to like K2, man. It's all been good. It's been a very high upswing of acting.
Tommy Boy says here, Peter Mayhew deserves an Oscar. And I would say, yeah. And I was thinking about the new movies where it's, is it Jonas? Eunice?
Yeah. Yeah, Jonas.
Jonas. Is taking over the mantle of Chewie and how good he has done. And I just wanted to commend everyone at Lucasfilm and Disney that the handoff from like the original classic Star Wars characters to the new generation has been really, really good. Like whatever Peter Mayhew instilled in Jonas to put that suit on and become Chewbacca, he did it perfectly because that's one of the best Chewbacca performances that we've ever seen.
To be honest, I wouldn't if I didn't know, I probably would have assumed it would have been the same character or the same actor. For how dumb that sounds, I know the Peter Mayhew was so old, but I'm just saying in general, if I started watching as a kid and I watched 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm not sure I would just be like, that's clearly a different actor. Like,
you would have no idea.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Perfect.
So no, that's
a little commendation for the
absolutely, and yeah, like you said, the transition, especially of the OT characters, is quite seamless. They did a great job with Luke, Leia, Han, and even Lando. I was so happy they used Lando how they did in Episode 9. I'm so happy they didn't overdo Lando.
Mm-hmm.
He played the perfect part, and that was it. So, do you think? Do you think Poe and Finn are extremely believable characters with the script that they had and the acting behind them?
Yeah, definitely. Finn especially. I love Finn's arc. Now that it's been complete and I've seen Episode 9, I think I said this to you guys after we walked out of the theater. Once Rise of Skywalker was over, Finn became one of my favorite Star Wars characters because of his arc through all 3 movies. Poe, I do like.
Well, they were supposed to kill Poe off, so the fact that he's made it 3
and became like one of the main 3.
Yeah, well, he became a general.
Right, general. Thank you. I think they mentioned his past as like a spice runner and not so great of a guy before he found the Resistance. I feel like that was a little too much of a throwaway mention. I would have loved to see more of that, or him talking more about that in Episode 9, or maybe bring that up earlier in the trilogy so that we could expand on that a little bit more. That kind of felt thrown in there for no reason. I mean, I get why, but I would say he's probably on the bottom of my list of like new characters.
Poe?
Yeah.
Like
Kylo, Rey, Finn, all those guys are up top, and I would say Poe is probably close to the bottom.
After I rewatched Episode 9 again, and after rewatching it, I like the banter between like Finn, Poe, and Rey.
Mm-hmm.
I think the comedy between the characters, like when they're yelling at each other, Spice Runner, whatever, ex-Stormtrooper yelling.
Were you a Stormtrooper? We could do this all night.
Yeah. Like it's nice and fun. It was really funny, but I don't think it adds anything. I wish there was a little more confrontation between the characters. Like it almost like enforces that happy dance theory that while everybody's dying, and they're kind of just like, okay, dickhead, what do you want to do?
Also, bro, they're running through the halls of Kylo Ren's ship, zapping stormtroopers with full armor on. One blast down. Poe gets blasted by a stormtrooper and has a fucking scratch on his arm. No armor on at all.
I mean, that's Star Wars, and that's what I just chalk it up to. But yeah, I mean, there was for how bad a lot of the acting is in Star Wars, I did feel like there was a bit of tension in the original trilogy. Between Luke, it was him against the world, even though he wanted to help everybody. You could see there was kind of a chip on his shoulder. Han didn't trust anybody. And
Mm-hmm.
then Leia thought she was just better than everybody. And you kind of felt that. In this, I felt like it was kind of just everybody does good. Let's
I'm not totally convinced about
yeah.
that.
Yeah. It was something that about Finn when I was really, really digging into episode 9. I was like, man, he's an ex-stormtrooper. He should like blood rage hate this First Order. And he's kind of just like, oh, wait, you're a stormtrooper too? High five, bro. I'm like, oh, no. You should be like, you guys got the fuck away? Oh, my God. Like, and he was like interested. I
Yeah,
don't
no, he
know.
was very interested.
I
He
just,
turned into a little kid. He's just like, oh my God. It's like when you meet another Star Wars fan in public that doesn't feel like shitting all over everything that you've ever seen. It's like, oh
right.
my God, you actually like stuff.
Right. Well, and even if you don't, if you have decent criticism and you can talk your way through it instead of just saying trash, it's all trash. There was a female in it. Fuck.
Bro, I've stopped even bringing it up.
So yeah, I'm no longer. I don't wear Star Wars shirts outside of the house.
Like, I don't even want to talk.
I'm quarantined just to not have Star Wars conversations out in public.
This coronavirus came at a perfect time. Rise of Skywalker comes out on Blu-ray. I don't want to talk to anybody about their opinions. This is perfect.
Is that guy wearing a Star Wars shirt? I'm gonna hawk a loogie on him.
Yeah. Celebration is the only safe place.
Even there.
Yeah,
Nowadays, you don't know. You just don't know.
Meow.
How do you feel about the different interpretations within the Star Wars universe of the Force? So, like, walking through it, like Qui-Gon, it's the living Force. Midichlorians, very scientific. Then you get to, like,
and also spiritual at the same time.
yeah, absolutely. Reach out with your feelings. Obi-Wan was kept yelling at Luke and blah, blah, blah. And then it's gotten to, like, borderline non-Force sensitives. Let's just, like, Finn, where it's just a feeling. Like, they don't know what it is. Like, there's so many interpretations and so many filters of the understanding behind what the Force is. What are your thoughts on how they've been kind of twisting that?
Well, I think we've... Go ahead.
Sorry, you paused there for... It's like they're no longer pinning it to one thing. It's like it kind of just is, and everybody feels it in different forms.
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe if people are... like if you've read up on it or if you've heard about it, you have an inkling about it. But if you're from an area that doesn't exist, but you just kind of have a feeling, like
right.
I think it makes complete sense.
No, I love the new, I don't want to say it's a new version, but like the new iteration of explaining the Force, because if you go back all the way to 77, when Obi-Wan talks about the Force for the very first time, it's an energy field that lives in everybody. It binds the universe together. Throughout the original trilogy, we only really see the Force being used by Luke and Vader, and then Palpatine. It's
and
like
Yoda.
And Yoda. It's like the people that are at the top of their game on the Rebels and on the Empire. Like that's the only thing that we see. And as the Star Wars saga has unfolded, it's become more and more common across different characters, and culminating obviously with Finn in Episode 9 being
and Broom Kid and. But I mean, like we went from, like you said, just like the top 4 characters to the prequels, where like if there's not a Force sensitive on screen, let me know, because there's always someone. There's always someone.
I feel like it started kind of mystical, and then it became like a superpower in the prequels, and now it's back to being like part mystical, part power, and it's something that everybody possesses at a certain level.
Yeah,
which is something that I enjoy, and I think Ryan really kind of opened the door for all that in 8. I know people complain about fucking Broom Kid or whatever you want to say, but I think that was a great way to do it, just to say like it doesn't. And Luke's lines are perfect in 8. The Force doesn't belong to you. It's not a power that you control and that you own. It's balanced, and it belongs to everybody. So I think the sequel trilogy really brought that to light. And
it's nice that it's a constantly changing idea. Like it's not set in stone. There can be different viewpoints. It can be used in different ways. Like we talk about like Sith sorcery, which we got to see in Episode 9 in a sense. You know, it's not just, oh, look at me force jump real high. It's like, let me live beyond death. Like there's so many options.
Yeah.
Let's bind these two beings together from across the galaxy, and they can just talk to each other.
Yeah.
And there's different ways they use it, and it's opening a door, man. I really enjoy the vision of what the Force has become.
Well, it has different iterations, and I think that's really played out with each saga and when it was made. You look, what the fuck were you doing there for a second? It's interesting to see how filmmaking changes and how those explanations of the Force change in different trilogies throughout the Star Wars universe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the early 2000s, like it very much was about, flashy lightsaber fights and jumping and superpowers and this and that. And now it's become that there's that a little bit. We see some cool shit in episode 9, but there's also the conversation about how it's, a mystical energy field that impacts everybody.
Well, it's just like when you think of
I don't think.
different, like how much energy you put into things. You can be like a bodybuilder and just be a fucking strong fucker, or you can go into martial arts and learn different things, or you can go into like science and have your edge that way. Like I'm just thinking, like all the different.
There's different ways to do the same thing.
Well, there's different. Yeah. I mean, just
there's different pathways to like people can use the Force in different ways.
Yeah, and apply it different ways. And I guess like Overwatch characters. This is such a weird.
Dude, I was just going to fucking say that. I was like, this is going to sound dumb, but it's the same way you have like an agile healer and you have a tank and you have a damage person. Like that's exactly what I was going to say.
But it's like applying your power in different ways. It's not all just like I'm really fast or I'm really strong. Like I heal and I support and I block and I do all this shit. Like it's just, I mean, it's kind of ground level. Like however you apply your time and your energy is what you're going to get out of it. And I think the Force is the same way, in a sense that, like, even Palpy now, obviously he did a lot of fucking research about how to live for a long fucking time, and it worked out. He literally didn't do anything while he was in power. He just like researched and bubbled and toiled and threw the dragon's tongue in there, and then
toil and trouble.
And now he's living beyond death. So that's his power, man. Manipulation.
He did some stuff.
He electrocuted the kid, the Luke boy.
He had to delegate all of his real tasks so he could do research.
Should Luke's last name really be Skywalker?
What do you mean?
Shmi's last name wasn't Skywalker. Or yes, it was. But then she was married.
When she got married, she should have. When she got married, she should have taken a different last name.
Wasn't it like
which she may have done? But Anakin was already born at that point, so Anakin's name was Skywalker.
I know, but I'm asking about Luke. Luke was raised unknowing. I know, but Luke was raised unknowingly by his
uncle,
his grandmother's.
How high are you
nephew?
right now?
His grandmother's nephew.
His grandmother's
nephew.
Wait a second, hang on.
Because it was Shmi's.
No, it was his grandmother's stepson, Owen Lars.
Owen Lars. So why wasn't Luke's last name Lars?
Because they raised him, but they weren't his parents, so they just they left him.
Why the fuck would Obi-Wan leave a note saying this kid's last name is definitely Skywalker? Don't tell him that this.
Good question though. Like he's the most famous Jedi in the galaxy. How many other people have the name Skywalker? I feel like it's not that common.
Let's give him his same last name that his dad came from and his grandmother on the same planet.
I see what you mean because Leia was adopted as well, and she took the Organa name. I think just because they made it clear that like Luke was their nephew, they didn't adopt him as a child.
But he was the only Skywalker in that whole hut.
Yeah, it doesn't make
it should be
sense.
Luke. It should be Luke Lars.
Should be Luke Lars, yeah.
Luke Lars. And it should be Ray Lars or Ray Organa.
Shmi's dad is the key to everything. I've been saying that. I want to know where she comes from. I'm curious where the Skywalker lineage actually starts. I'm very curious.
There was no father.
It wasn't fun.
That is kind of a cop out for how cool it is, and I like it. It's just like, he's Anakin's Jesus. Like it doesn't. Don't worry about the father, even though every fucking thing going forward is about family. Don't worry about his family.
I'm not so worried. I know he was Immaculate Conception. I'm just more curious who was the Skywalker before Shmi, because it's a pretty powerful name. So I'm just curious.
And I'm assuming Shmi was Force sensitive.
Not necessarily.
It just skips. So are you
Jesus's mom wasn't a goddess. She's just Mary.
She's a saint.
She is now because she birthed fucking Anakin. She wasn't when it happened. She was just some chick, you know?
Don't call Shmi just a chick. She was a slave.
It's all right. She's just some slave chick.
Oh, man. I don't know.
No, Brennan, Obi-Wan looks like Jesus, but Anakin is Jesus. If Anakin never turned to the dark side, he would have adopted Obi-Wan's look, and then he would have looked like Jesus too. He just didn't get that far. You can't get the short haircut goatee until you're a master.
Yeah.
That's reserved. Look at Qui-Gon. Obi-Wan was clean-shaven when he was a little baby Padawan.
I wonder if there was ever a conversation between Obi-Wan and Anakin about Padme. Like, I was watching episode 2. Or no, I'm sorry. I was playing Lego Star Wars because it's like the Clone Wars is the setting for the game. And I was like, it's just like kissing and hugging and banging. And then Obi-Wan's also there. And you're like, dude, how does, first of all, Obi-Wan cannot be okay with this. Like,
yeah,
you're not
I don't
supposed
know.
to do this. And the next movie, Anakin's the father. I'm so sorry.
That's the problem. He didn't officially know until... I would like to see them expand on that a little bit more. He didn't officially know until he put 2 and 2 together in Padme's apartment and was like, oh shit, Anakin is the father. Before then, he didn't know for sure. But how could you not? They're Force sensitive. How could you not just sense that he's got a boner for Padme? Just like hanging around her apartment all the time.
I don't know.
I feel like you have to sense that.
I mean, they're around each other all the fucking time.
Maybe they're just best buds because Anakin was 9 when he met Padme and they all saved the world together and they're just joined at the hip now.
But as long as they stand
they're
behind,
fucking. They're banging.
As long as they're standing behind two
behind the
pillars.
pillar. Yeah.
They're invisible. It's like the invisibility cloak. It's just the invisibility pillar. Can't see me now.
Yeah. Oh, today is Ewan McGregor's birthday. Happy birthday, Obi-Wan. May the Force be with you.
Anakin, something wonderful has happened. We got buy one, get one pizzas. Coupon in the mail today.
I got my approval on my health insurance. This baby's going to be healthy as fuck.
It's gonna extra fresh mozzarella, please. Extra fresh.
I want to know. That's what I want to see is some goofy ass Star Wars offshoots about like some Duros that owns a pizza shop on Coruscant. That's what I want to see.
I just want a mob movie on Lower Coruscant.
And the front for the mob is a pizza shop. Sci-fi pizza shop.
No, it's the 50s diner.
Oh yeah, Dex is actually the fucking Don of the Jetster Mafia.
That's it.
What's his fucking species again? I can't remember. Dexter Jetster. Let's see, bro. What are you?
Is he just like a fat normal thing? Basilisk?
Oh, Basilisk. Yeah, I feel like we've looked this up at some point. Yeah, so I want to know about the Hermione. What the fuck name is that? That was one of the waitresses in his diner, and the waitress droid. Want a cup of Java juice?
Want a cup of Java juice?
So I want to know about the Basilisk Mafia on Coruscant that's run out of Dexter's diner.
Yeah, maybe it's Dexter's brother who's the actual mob boss, and he gets pressured into doing a different shit and spying on Obi-Wan and making deals. Yes.
Speaking of spying and brothers, I finally watched Uncut Gems, And I have to say, I had very mixed feelings the entire time, and I still don't know what the hell to think about it. I was very excited, and I convinced Mrs. Commander that we were going to watch a movie with Adam Sandler that almost won an Oscar. And then I watched it, and I was like, what are we doing here? What did someone make this in their basement with Kevin Garnett? I don't understand.
Was it really just like not that believable?
It's not that it wasn't believable. It's just like the first 15 minutes was just 7 people talking over themselves for the entire 15 minutes. And I was just waiting for something interesting to happen. I don't know.
No, I definitely got lucky.
What do you mean?
I chose Ford versus Ferrari the other day, and
Wait, have you seen Uncut Gems though?
no, not yet. It was kind of the same deal. Like I chose Ford versus Ferrari over Uncut.
You responded to my comment in the group. You said boring, like fucking. What the hell are you talking about? I thought like you had seen it already, and you thought I was crazy for saying that it was boring.
Oh no,
My bad. I misinterpreted. Sorry, I just kind of ruined it for you.
no, I have not seen it. Ford versus Ferrari, very very believable. I love
I should have watched that instead.
I love it.
You love cars and you love Christian Bale. Who's
Yep,
not to love Christian Bale?
and Matt Damon, or whatever the other one is. So
Yeah,
oh,
I'll
it's
have to watch that. I should have rented that instead.
it was super believable. I mean,
Based on a true story.
I actually did like Matt Damon. Christian Bale kills it as always. And there was actually some other bigger names in there that played small roles.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. It was good. It didn't have to be like shit, the guy that
Mm-hmm.
what is he from?
The Punisher?
No. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Ford vs Ferrari, it was really fucking fun. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It was a lot longer than I thought, but I was invested.
Yeah, I'll be watching that.
Especially
soon.
if you're a car person at all. It's believable. I watched some car movies and it's like, dude, you're in 13th gear. Like every time you go, it's wah 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 wah. You're like, dude, how many? You can't shift that much.
Yeah,
You're already going fast.
They didn't have a driver on site to like consult for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like
I know what you mean.
all of the Fast Furious, they're just constantly shifting. You're like, dude.
Yeah, it's like when they have like live bands and musicians in movies. I can see that they're playing and it's not in sync.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when it's so obviously studio recorded and then on screen they're supposed to be like in a stadium or like in a hall or something and it just sounds so off.
Yeah.
Like remember the drum fill from the dude in Wayne's World?
Yeah.
There's like this epic drum fill and the guy on screen just like hits the cymbal one time. It's like so out of sync.
I can't
It's
stand
me
it.
crazy. I know, I hate it.
I can't imagine for you because audio stuff bothers the fuck out of me too. If the character is looking at the screen and then turns away from the screen and the audio is the exact same, it bothers me. Like you should be like almost muffled because you're no longer looking at the screen, but you're standing 10 feet away from everything and it's still crystal clear. What like there's obviously a lavalier under your fucking chin strap. Like I don't know what the fuck is happening.
It's just the mix, and the thing that drives me the most insane is ADR when they have to re-record dialogue, and it's mixed poorly, and it's so obviously a different take and a different sound when it's not synced up to the vocals. It's usually not as noticeable if you're watching like on your TV or speakers, but if you put headphones in and you're watching a show, it is 100% apparent, and it drives me nuts.
Oh yeah, if they have to splice in some audio or something,
dude,
and it's like on a completely different mic, and you're like, why did he just get the volume cranked up for 3 words? You're like, what the fuck? I don't mean to
like criticize Hollywood, but I just don't understand. Like, why don't you just replicate the same type of mic and situation to record their ADR so that it sounds the fucking same?
What is ADR?
After dialogue recording. That's anything that they record. They start cutting the movie and they realize that they need to redo a take or the audio didn't sound good, so they want to re-record it. So an actor comes into the studio, they see what's on screen, and they re-speak the dialogue and kind of match it with what they said on the actual take. But yeah, it can be obnoxiously different.
So
I'm a famous Hollywood director.
while you were babbling like a jackhole, I Googled Star Wars and clicked on news. And I came across something that said accidental crossplay between Star Wars Jedi Academy on PC and console is a slaughter.
Oh, I was actually going to comment. I saw that. I was looking at games on the Switch, and I saw that Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Academy are both on Switch. I almost got them.
Academy is very playable. I'm 100% with Kerner. I did not expect a lot out of that game, and it was a lot better than I thought. I was basing it off of Jedi Knight 2 because that's a very clunky, like old PC game.
Right.
So Jedi Academy was very, very refreshing. I liked it.
I might have to get that. Yeah, it was cheap on Switch, and I need more excuses to play the Switch so I don't sell it.
And you can. It's one of those games you can power through if you want. It's kind of nice because you get to choose your path, basically. So it'll like the first part of the game, you get 6 destinations. You only have to complete 5 to move on. You can do the 6th one if you want. Or like I said, you can move on. And I think there's like 3 levels of that. So you get to the middle part of the game and there's like another 5 and you only have to complete 4 if you want. So, and you get to pick in whatever order you want. So it's kind of a little bit open, choosy.
Dope.
So, and the force powers in that game were pretty smooth. I was actually happy with it. So, kind
Good.
of a Force Unleashed game.
Mm-hmm.
A little clunkier, but still fine. Force Unleashed kind of went over the top, and it was just too much. Like, I just fuck everything up, get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, a little too much. Have you been playing any Battlefront lately?
No.
Interesting. I'm just curious. Looks like the Scarif update got pushed back a little bit, but there's supposed to be Scarif map and a couple new skins coming out in a week or two, something like that.
Okay. Scarif is anything. Why have we not had Scarif? What the fuck are we doing right now?
I'm worried with. I don't know what's coming down the pipe. I know that there was talks about them doing a Battlefront 3, and that got canceled. So now that we know that that's canceled, I'm just wondering how long they're going to keep supporting this game. I feel like they really could do well if they keep going with it. I just hope they don't do Scarif in April and then just completely like sign off.
I have a feeling they're going to have to pull the plug at some point. I mean, the game's what,
Maybe.
4 years old?
No.
3?
It's just a little over 2.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2017. It came out like a couple weeks before Last Jedi.
2017 would be 3 years ago.
Once we get to December of this year, then yes, that would be 3 years.
That's not how it works.
It's been 2 years and like
It's
3 or 4
impossible.
months. Yeah. That's not how math works. But they don't have another shooter. And Fallen Order, it doesn't look like they're coming out with DLC. They're just waiting to put the sequel out. So for them to keep a player base alive for Star Wars games, I feel like they need to keep supporting new shit for Battlefront. So,
I mean, it's the only thing they got going, like you said. So, I just can't imagine it's a huge moneymaker at this point.
Well, that's why they did that Celebration Edition.
Yeah. Oh, I did have a so this is jumping way back. So in the Ahsoka episodes for Clone Wars, one of them was about binary load lifters. And I was like, of course it is.
Well, they have to throw that in somewhere. I haven't heard that shit in a movie in 40 years. So.
Exactly. And it's so, and that's kind of the goofy shit. Like, it all connects. It all fucking connects. And it was referenced 100 years ago. And now we're going to actually do an entire, it was a kind of a throwaway episode, but it's like, whatever. I get to see a fucking binary load lifter, which, by the way, are savages. They're
I'll be on the lookout for those.
They're big, like hulking robots, droids. They're called droids, sir.
Droids.
So
Speaking of hawking, I think so. What I'm doing right now, as far as my quarantine watch zone, Mrs. Commander and I are watching Silicon Valley. We're almost done. It's a fun show. I recommend anybody watch it. It's on HBO. Very funny. I'm watching Lord of the Rings Special Edition.
mhm.
And then once that's done, I think what I'm going to do is rewatch the last few Marvel movies. Because I've only seen Endgame once, and I think I want to watch. I think I'm probably going to do all the Avengers movies, Civil War, and then Infinity War and Endgame. And just kind of do like 6 or 7 of them instead of the entire catalog, because there's 23 movies.
Yeah, we're getting. It's. I mean, now's the time to get through some stuff if you want to
Yeah.
rewatch stuff. But we are on to 7 part 1 for of the Harry Potters.
Good.
And this, like I said, this is I've seen them all, but this is the first time I'm sitting down and watching them. I think it's a big change. And 7 part 1 has always been my favorite because it's very dark and some lovable characters are murdered off in 7 part 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Good
mean
one.
it's already extremely dark. Dumbledore died at the end of 6, so
Mm-hmm.
it's it's cool, man. Why is it?
Wizards dying is very cool.
Well, I mean, it feels very dire because people are actually dying, and then in Star Wars they fucking happy dance through, and I have to sit here and watch them skip throughout the Death Star, and I'm like, why do they have time to skip to Malu
I
while
needed
shooting?
I needed someone to die in 9.
Like a main, like Poe or someone?
I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to brush off the fact that Leia has passed away.
Right, but
I,
that
I
was
don't
scheduled.
that. I'm talking one of like the newer characters.
Absolutely.
Like I needed a sacrifice. I needed some stakes, and I would say even the same thing about Return of the Jedi. Like the Emperor shows up. It's like the epic showdown between Luke and his dad and the Emperor, and the Emperor dies.
Well, Vader dies.
Vader dies, but you really don't care about that much because you pull off his helmet and he's a fucking powdered donut. But no one on the rebellion dies at all.
Yeah. The
You know what I
heaviest
mean?
death in episode 6 is some of the Ewoks. You see it, like one gets shot.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Wicket tries to like poke it and it gets all sad.
so
Yeah.
sad. Now, well, with you saying that, let me ask you, how would you have felt if they went with the original plan and killed Poe off in episode 7?
Interesting question. I feel like I enjoy the idea of like a main 3. So if Poe was supposed to die and they actually went through with that, I just wonder who that new character would have been along with Rey and with Finn.
I don't think you need it. I think it felt forced. It could have been just the two. It could have been the ex-stormtrooper and the
Yeah, but
future
see, the
Jedi.
problem is they would have brought in somebody in Last Jedi if Poe is gone, who is, I guess I can't necessarily say with certainty because if Poe died, Ryan would have done things differently. But I feel like they would have brought in like some resistance general or resistance pilot or resistance commander in The Last Jedi, and that he would have gotten or she would have gotten wrapped up with Rey and Finn.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Stop asking.
In my version in my head, that would really truly fucking just hit me. Poe lives through 7. Holdo isn't a thing, and Poe ends up. It's not. It's no longer a Holdo remover. It's a Poe maneuver. Because he finally, throughout episode 8, finds out what it does take to be a leader, and in sacrificing himself, he kind of becomes the martyr and saves everybody else.
So then Holdo would have been the new part of the trilogy?
No, Holdo's not even there. I'm saying they would have had to kind of tweak episode 8 quite a bit, but in the person who saves them to get them to
Great. Yeah.
Crate would have been Poe.
Oh, I see what you mean. Interesting.
Like Poe would have had to do the whole sacrifice Lightspeed.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what we
I don't
wanted
know.
with Finn on Crate, but we never got that. Like, there's
Yeah, see, it's hard to say because now that I've seen the full arc, the fact that Finn survives, I'm okay with that because I like what he does in 9. But I do think the act of sacrifice in Last Jedi would have been fucking epic. I don't know. It's all up in the fucking air. Somebody should have died in Return of the Jedi too.
yeah. I'm just saying different
Just kill
scenarios,
Han.
man.
Just kill everyone.
Different scenarios. Yeah, I just a lot of opportunities to really make it a heavy story, and they never really got it there. I knew Han, Luke, and Leia had to go. I was already expecting that. If they didn't die, I would have been mad. Now let's make it a fucking some heavy stakes and let's introduce some people and get them out of here.
I think that's the one thing about the original trilogy complaints that really fucking irks me is people getting mad about Luke, Han, and Leia being gone. Like, they're 80.
Yeah, if
They're dead now.
I'm telling you, if I would have saw Boba Fett flying on screen, I probably would have got up and left. Because he's like 110. I don't need to see him anymore. This is no longer their story. Get him.
Exactly.
Let's move on.
And I think they did. I think they did the end of Luke, Han, and Leia's story very well.
They passed
All
the torch.
things
Yeah.
considered, they did it well. Han was perfect, first of all. Luke, I know that's the big one where people are really split on, how they handled him and his point of view and everything in 8. But personally, I think that was perfect. And Leia, we didn't really have much of an option, but the fact that they were able to tastefully bring her back for 9, I think that was well done.
What if they adjusted it just a little bit and pulled the sequel trilogy back like 5 years? And we actually, in episode 7, saw Luke as a Grandmaster. And then, like, in 8 was the downfall and the rise of Kylo. And we don't even get to the zombie Palpy. We don't even get to Snoke. That doesn't exist. The downfall of Luke's new Jedi Order would have been Ben, his nephew, and then they would have had to fucking duel it out in episode 9. And Luke and Leia and Han, I mean, everybody's being pulled in different directions. Like, I think we can turn him. No, don't fucking try. And it's like,
I want to see that, and part of me wants that to happen in a comic book or something, and I think we're going to get that with the Rise of Kylo Ren. But I think in film form, anything that doesn't begin with the setup with Rey, I think would detract from the fact that they're trying to jumpstart 3 new characters as the leads of Star Wars. I think too much of a focus on Luke or any of those characters in episode 7 would have just put the focus back on the past instead of on the new characters, and it could have backfired.
I mean, it's all about how you direct it. I mean, Luke wouldn't need necessarily a lot of screen time. It's kind of that Dumbledore effect. Like, he's such a prominent character, but he's not on screen at fucking all, and it's kind of weird. And when you do see him for more than an individual scene, you're like, holy shit, some serious shit is happening. And that's how I felt like they should have played it.
Yeah.
Luke comes in, pretends to fucking know what he's doing, teaching a class or something, and then he goes the fuck away, and everybody's like, and then everybody's like, I didn't get it. Like, I'm having trouble, and this sucks.
Well, I'm thinking of like the beginning of Lord of the Rings, where Galadriel basically just sets up the entire story. Like, I feel like if they were going to do anything, if there's a 30-year gap, one of the best things after the crawl would have been for somebody to, like, basically, for them to find a tasteful way to set up what's happened in the past 30 years. And I think any part of that is a big, heavy focus on Luke just would have taken away from them. I think they did a very good job establishing new characters and saying these are the leads of Star Wars. Daisy Ridley is a fucking savage actor. That's one of the best acting performances, along with Adam Driver. And it's a great new character. And I think they made the right decision focusing on them and starting something new. So I know what you mean, but it sounds more like backstory / expanded universe stuff. It's not movie stuff.
Instead, I mean, it would have been moving forward. It would have been hard tied, just like how Rogue One is hard tied into the OT. it would have been 6.5, episode 6.5, and we would have got into what happens after the Death Star 2 is blown up.
I think
Instead
we'll
of
get
which
that, just not in movie form.
right, yeah, and it's gonna live in some novel that I'll never read. But yeah, I
You read
mean,
it if it's good, yes.
no.
Even the good ones, I hate those even more. I hate
Uh,
those extra.
yeah. Then I tried to read. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking of different ways that they could have done it, and what other possibilities there are. It would be nice if they could do like a hard reset, which I think that's what they're trying to do with the High Republic. Let's just go back 400 years and do whatever the fuck we want.
Exactly. Yep. And I am very curious to learn more about that. And I hope that it expands more into not just novels and comics. Because I think that's where the future of Star Wars lies, is them being able to create and solidify a new era with new characters and everything is brand new. I was playing KOTOR and I took you up on your challenge and I failed miserably. I gave up on the blasters. You were right. I'll own up to it.
Yeah.
It was a terrible idea. But in playing KOTOR, I was going through the first, 30, 45 minutes, and I was just like, man, this is all brand new stuff. It's a new era, new styles of ships, new characters, but everything just feels so at home in the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are able to do that with the High Republic and bring us something outside of just novels, I think that's where our next, 4, 6, 8 years of Star Wars is going to come from.
Yeah. I mean, I picture like the perfect Jedi era. I mean, it's called the High Republic for a reason, where the Jedi are just living their life and killing it, killing the game. Because
Killing
I and then,
enemies.
and then I mean maybe we give hints into their downfall,
Mm-hmm.
but well, and I mean we're gonna have a hard tie. I mean if they don't put Yoda in this shit, you know how bad everybody's gonna freak if there's not a Yoda appearance in the High Republic.
Yes. I also would say if it's not going to be on screen, that gives them more possibility to not include him and still make people happy. Like if it's just a novel or, 9 novels and some comics and they don't include him, I could see that. But if it ends up becoming a series on Disney Plus or something, sorry, my eyes are just really itchy. Then I could see like people want to see fucking young Yoda on screen. Like you have to deliver.
Or is it not confirmed that they're gonna do like? I guess there wasn't anything confirmed as far as like movies or series. It was just like
It's starting off as an effort from the
comics.
publishing division.
Yeah.
So novels, young adult books, and comics, which is a big piece of canon.
Yeah,
I think where I'm
back
where
in
I'm
my
coming-
day, Star Wars was movies and video games. We don't have either of those
Yes.
anymore for the next 3 years. So
right.
now, I mean, the series is fun. I mean, I'm not complaining anything about the Cassian or the Mando. I mean, that was great. But all these comics and books, like I was there a little bit, but
I was there.
I was there.
We sound like old people that were in the theater in '77.
Yeah, I was there, man.
I was there before they ruined my Star Wars. No, I think what's good about this is that they can set up an entire era storyline and characters. So they're doing a lot of prep work right now. So that way, in 6 months, they could announce, develop, and put out something on Disney Plus in like a year. And it doesn't take the full turnaround of like a Hollywood production where it's 3 years and, a $300 million budget and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they do the prep work now and creating that era and like that foundation. And then they can put stuff out like way more frequently. So yeah, we have 3 years, 2.5 years until the next movie, but only Kenobi and Cassian have been announced on Disney Plus. So we have no idea. There could be plenty of stuff coming.
Yeah.
They're just being secretive. So we'll see. I'm excited.
I'm excited. Excited.
All right, I'm going to go make a pizza and I'm going to jump on. I think I'm going to jump on Minecraft.
Do it.
So
We have nothing else to look forward to, so this will be the last and final episode of this week.
220.
220.
I was gonna say 227 is a pretty good run, all things considered. We've
Yeah.
gone through the entire sequel trilogy era of Star Wars.
Isn't that madness?
It's a lot. It's quite a bit. 6 years and then some change.
It does feel like, I mean, we've gotten 5 movies and a series.
Yeah, and more on the way.
And
a million
like,
more well on
and
the
like,
way.
and like 3 throwaway cartoon series and
Throw away. Fuck you, bro.
and 1 whole video game. Man,
1.5 video games, please.
dude, Battlefront 2 is literally just a Battlefront 1 update.
So we've gotten 2.5 then.
What's the other ones?
Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, and Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
And Lego Star Wars 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
How-
16, 17, 18, 19, and 20.
How easily I forgot about Fallen Order.
Because they
That's
didn't put
weird.
any fucking DLC in that shit. That's all they should have done. Put me in the director's position at fucking EA. All you have to do is create new missions with new items and new characters and put out a DLC once a month, and that game will live on for fucking 3 years.
You know what would have also been really fun is if you had the opportunity to have a companion or 2, so you could play it with different people.
Mm-hmm.
And because I still stand strong on there's 0 replayability for me. I mean, it was fun. It was really fun, surprisingly fun, but I'm done with it.
Right. That's it. It's a one and done, which is a bummer.
So, but that's what you get nowadays. All you have left is us. So you better love it.
We are not one
Galaxy
and done.
quarantine until 2040.
All right. Let's all try to not lose our minds.
I'm hand digging my bunker in my backyard. There's going to be a small hatch that I go into. I'm making friends with the worms.
You're just talking about Minecraft now, aren't you?
Okay, guys. Good day, Galaxy. Goodbye. Do it.